Alright, it's time to change challenge. Street Fighter 6 Season 3 is dropping 1 month from today. Before a balance patch drops, I offer my own rebalance of the game. There's a couple of caveats here. Number one, I've already made a video talking about how I would change the system mechanics. So I'm actually not going to include system mechanics in this video. I'm gonna make these character changes on the assumption that the system mechanics are exactly the same. Capcom have said that the system mechanics are changing in Season 3, but I can't predict what those changes are going to be. So for the sake of this video, we'll just assume that the system is unchanged and throw loops still exist and are very fun to play against. Secondly, this is not a prediction. I need to stress that. This is not a prediction of what I think Capcom will do. This is just my opinion. This is what I would change if I was given all-powerful control over the update. Also, I limit it to 2 changes per character because I think that's a good way to kind of like force yourself to focus on just the important things. With that being said, let's get started. Ryu. I'm actually kind of worried about Capcom over buffing this character, truth be told. I think a lot of people are starting to realize that Ryu is really damn good in this game right now, and I'm concerned that Japan seems to think this character is not that good. And usually if Japan underrates a character, that means they're gonna get buffs. So I'm actually kind of scared about this character. I kind of feel like this might be a scenario to like nerf one degenerate thing and then buff something that's a little bit ugly. So I'm actually going to start out with a Ryu nerf. I know you guys are going to hate this. The Ryu community is going to exile me. I'm reverting heavy donkey kick back to -4. I don't think a move with this much of a good hitbox that absolutely obliterates your drive gauge on block should also be safe, but I am going to add something else that's a buff as well to kind of even it out. Stacking Hashogeki? You are crazy. Give him Demon Flip? You can't trust Ryu players in chat, man. Would it be too much to give him +4 on hit for EX Hashogeki without a charge? So he could do like normal EX Hashogeki jab special. I think that's a sign that it's a good suggestion because like chat is split right down the middle on that one. I've seen almost exactly the same as yes and no's. All right, next character. I actually think I'm gonna give Luke. Maybe I bought into the Noah the Prodigy mind games, but like I actually kind of do think Luke could probably do with just a few small buffs. How about this as a quality of life change? I mean, this is a buff. It's more like a quality of life buff. Luke's DPs, and I think most DPs in this game, have a thing where they lose a bunch of damage if you hit on the late active frames. And for most characters, it's not that big of a deal, but for Luke, it's really noticeable because, let me show you in game, hang on. So if you notice, when you do EX Flash Knuckle into DP, the DP does like no damage because it's hitting on a late active frame. So this combo does 1600 like this. But if you do it in the corner and hit on the early active frames, this does 2000. He loses a ton of damage. I think it is possible to like manually time the DP to hit on the right frame to do the proper damage. Like that. You can do it mid-screen, but like this is a huge execution barrier for like something that no other character really has to worry about. Does it really matter for character balance? I would say it does. You know, losing 400 damage because you hit the wrong active frame of the DP is just weird. So it's not a huge buff, but I think we can give him that. So yeah, you always get the max damage version of the DP regardless of which active frame it hits on. Because the other thing you've got to remember is that Luke can't do DP into level 3. That's another important thing to remember. So like, it will improve his like average damage from like stray hits and simple confirms, but it won't give him like a big damage upgrade into level 3 because he can't route DP into level 3. I don't think you guys realize how much of a buff this is. You guys want flashy changes that upgrade the character, but think about this. Every single time as a Luke player, you do a DP anti-air, you get like 400 plus bonus damage. Not even like accounting for the combo changes. Extend range on level 2 would be nice. His level 2 is actually insanely fast. I think this thing's like 5 frame start. It's one of the fastest supers in the game, but you can't really take advantage of that speed because it has like no range right now. So even though it has like a uniquely fast level 2, there's very few situations where you can actually take advantage of that. So I think that's pretty reasonable. I would say the idea here is to make it a bit like Ken's level 2 and also maybe makes his combos a little bit more consistent. All right, Jamie. Start at drink 1? No. Any suggestion that involves skipping his core system mechanic is getting immediately ignored. I'll give you the EX drink, and single drink. Now nerf his dive kick for change number 2. Yeah, like the thing that I always notice whenever I do these things is that chat unanimously hates every single character. There is not a single character I have ever done one of these 2 change challenges for where everyone's like, yeah, we should buff them. It could be the worst character in the world and someone in chat will be like, nerf that motherfucker right now. I think for the second one we'll do this. EX breakdance actually works. That's the change. Like, this thing is so inconsistent. The amount of times that like a Jeymi player will EX breakdance a fireball and then either the breakdance just completely misses, or even more upsetting, I don't know if you guys have seen this, the breakdance will hit like 1 hit on like an extended hurt box on the fireball, and then the rest of it will fall apart and drop. Like, it'll be punishable on hit. This move just does not work very well right now. Yeah, I think these 2 changes might be the exact same changes that I've been suggesting for Jeymi in every balance patch so far. I'm getting deja vu right now. They keep giving him all these weird changes that don't really like fundamentally address any of his issues. I feel like Capcom are really scared of like making any kind of serious changes to Jeymi. I'm gonna keep making these 2 suggestions until they actually happen. All right, Chun-Li. I genuinely have no idea what I would even go with here. I'm open to suggestions on this one. DP fixes. I mean, I can give you guys that. Let's start with that. This is more of a quality of life than anything else. All right. So if you don't know what this means, when Chun-Li does her DP, her up kicks, she does like the first kick and then that one ends, and then she does the second kick. And in that gap between the 2 kicks, there is like a missing part of it, which causes like so many situations where Chun-Li will correctly DP, the opponent will weave in that gap between the first and second kick, and their jump normal will just completely smoke her DP. Vacuum effect on first hit of level 2 so people don't fall out of fireball punishes. I mean, I can give you guys that, but it seems like all Chun players want is just like quality of life stuff. Is that all you guys want? You just want quality of life fixes? I can give you that. Okay. I mean, sure. I would rather give you that than like a brand new tool. Okay. That is boring though. This is the problem with Street Fighter players. You say like, I'm gonna give Ryu a gun, and they say, fuck you, he doesn't need that. And you say, okay, well, I'm gonna make some small targeted quality of life fixes, and you're like, fuck you, that's boring. I can't win with you guys. Anyway, Guile. Alright, this is gonna be a case of nerfs. I hate this motherfucker. Remove Sonic Boom. Alright, so the idea here is basically that if he does like back heavy kick into level 2, nothing he does afterwards is a true block string. So he has to actually read like parry versus frame trap. But that, no, I don't know about that though, because that kills a lot of his cool combos. Okay, no, change of plans here. What we're gonna do is, that works much better, doesn't ruin any combos. I'm just gonna keep this one simple and just say, I'm not gonna kill it completely, but I don't like how consistent this thing can be for a character who historically has always been about flash kicking. Like, flash kick is like the most iconic anti-air in the series, so it's kind of annoying when a Guile player anti-airs me with stand medium kick 86 times in a row. Anyway, Kimberly. Okay, I know what I'm doing here. There's no hesitation in my mind. Now, before you tell me I've made a mistake, before you tell me that I've made Kimberly top 1, this is a massive nerf to Kimberly. This is a huge nerf to Kimberly because Kimberly players have no sense of risk reward. They are lunatics. And if you give a lunatic an invincible EX reversal, they are going to use it 24/7. Your win rate against Kimberly players will skyrocket once this change has been implemented, because they will not be able to resist the temptation. So I think we're going to give Kimberly the EX reversal because Kimberly players are not sensible enough to use it in a thoughtful and considered way. So this is, on paper, a huge buff. In practice, a huge nerf. I guess we'll do that as change number 2. She can still do air EX Tatsu, just no ground EX Tatsu into level 2 with this change. Yes, all of this is about grounded EX Tatsu. Air EX Tatsu is basically unchanged. All right.